Today is the anniversary of the publication of Just Kids. I wrote Just Kids because Robert requested that I do on March 8th, 1989, the night before he died. He asked me to write our story, and I knew what he meant by our story. Our story was something we shared from the age of 20, and that sometimes late at night he would ask me to tell him about how we first met, about our trials and tribulations, and it was our story. And so I wrote it. It took me a long time, but I did, and I'd like to read a passage from it. I thought that this would be very nice for a widescreen because it was a night that Robert and I looked at the immense billboard on 42nd Street created by John and Yoko. And Robert was quite enamored by the idea of projecting work on such a big space, a big public space. It snowed on Christmas night. We walked to Times Square to see the white billboard proclaiming, "War is over, if you want it. Happy Christmas from John and Yoko." It hung above the bookstall where Robert bought most of his men's magazines, between Child's and Benedict's, two all-night diners. Looking up, we were struck by the ingenuous humanity of this New York City tableau. Robert took my hand, and as the snow swirled around us, I glanced at his face. He narrowed his eyes and nodded in affirmation, impressed to see artists take on 42nd Street. For me, it was the message. For Robert, the medium. Newly inspired, we walked back to 23rd Street, to our own space. The work that we had done was tacked up, our drawings, collages, installations. We stood at the window and looked out at the snow falling beyond the fluorescent oasis sign with its squiggly palm tree. "Look," he said, "it's snowing in the desert." I thought about a scene in Howard Hawks' movie Scarface, where Paul Muni and his girl are looking out at the window, looking out at a neon sign that said, "The world is yours." Robert squeezed my hand. The 60s were coming to an end. Robert and I celebrated our birthdays. Robert turned 23. Then I turned 23, the perfect prime number. Robert made me a tie rack with the image of the Virgin Mary. I gave him 7 silver skulls on a length of leather. Robert wore the skulls. I wore a tie. We felt ready for the 70s. "It's our decade," he said. Thank you.